also have some guests from the city of SLO, from the chamber, from Cal Poly, and some other people who will be just sharing their experience with us. So if you're new to this call, welcome. We are glad you're with us. If you're watching on Facebook Live, thanks for being with us. And if you are watching this for the 60th time, thank you for being here as well. This is something we started back in March, and it's continued to be a way to keep in good touch with our business members and also with the community, because we all love and support our downtown so very much. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop those into the chat. We will have a dedicated time at the end for some additional conversation. We're also going to do a few polls at the end where you will get a chance to participate anonymously. And so that is exciting too. And I see that Mayor Harmon is on our call. Thank you for joining us, Mayor. As well as a number of other wonderful business owners and stakeholders, including our fantastic board of directors. So Downtown SLO is a private nonprofit. We have two nonprofit arms. We have our 501c6 and the 501c3, which is the Friends of Downtown SLO. And we work in partnership with the city of San Luis Obispo. And these friendly faces that you see here represent our board of directors. And in addition to being on these calls weekly, we will also be having a closed meeting of our board of directors on Tuesday, October 13th at 7:30 a.m. So I'll be sending out the agenda and materials for that later this week, but look for those board packets. And one of the ways that our board of directors supports our organization is by, of course, raising money for our organization. And during the COVID-19 pandemic, when a lot of our revenue producing events have not been able to take place, such as farmers market and concerts in the plaza, we are looking to raise money from the public, and the board of directors has come together to do a really fun fundraising raffle. And this is to support the Friends of Downtown SLO, which is our 501c3 arm. And we have fabulous prizes. There, you could get a staycation at Hotel SLO, at Avila Bay Inn and Golf Resort, fantastic prizes, shopping sprees, dining, ways to really explore and enjoy your downtown. So we are selling the tickets now. They went on sale last Wednesday and Thursday, and we've already raised almost $1,000. Our goal with this raffle is to raise $15,000, and the tickets will be on sale through November 28th. We'll have a number of drawings that will take place up through that time. And if you would like to purchase some tickets, you can call 805-234-9678. And if you are one of the businesses who has donated it to our raffle, thank you so much. We really appreciate your generosity. And we know this is going to be a really exciting way for people to give $20, have the chance to win big, and also know that they're supporting the downtown. So this fundraising raffle is going to support our additional clean and safe initiatives, including our proven ambassador program. And last week we announced, with great happiness for him, but sadness for us, that our ambassador has been with us for 5 years, Austin Bertucci, has left our organization. He is now going to be working at the city of SLO in the community development department as a clerk. So those of you who are working on applications to the city will get to interact with him. We have hired a couple of new ambassadors, and we'll be introducing you to them starting next week. But you will see some friendly faces out there wearing the ambassador t-shirt and ambassador hat. They are out there working daily to make sure that downtown looks clean. So that's the funds that you, when you buy your raffle ticket, it supports programs like these, as well as our holiday activities. And we're hard at work putting together plans that we'll share with you in just a few moments. So with that in mind, board of directors, next Tuesday, we're going to be talking about the ways that you can help sell tickets. So stay tuned and be excited. And with that, let's start talking about where we are in COVID-19. Rachel?
Thank you, Bettina. As of Friday, 3,685 cases of COVID-19 have been reported in our county, and the city accounts for 624 of those cases. The total number of deaths due to COVID-19 is 31 in our county, and our thoughts are with their loved ones. This is still affecting us in this community as well as across the world. Testing is available. If you want to learn more about where to go get tested, readyslo.org will be the resource. Moving to the next slide, the county remains in the red tier, which is tier 2, or also known as substantial in terms of the spread. This data is reviewed weekly, and the tiers are updated on Tuesdays. So tomorrow, should there be any fluctuations, that would be announced Tuesday. There's also a little bit of a note with this is the data does lag. So what you may view on our county site is different on the state site in terms of kind of the up-to-date of the numbers. Our county does a great job of explaining that on the website if you want to learn more. So I'll also post that link straight to the data in the chat. And with that, I'll pass it back to you, Bettina.
Great, thank you, Rachel. Yeah, it's important to know that the county also does the weekly updates on Wednesday afternoon at 3:15. So those are the best places to get the most up-to-date information. And Dr. Borenstein has done a good job of letting us know her interpretation of this complex changing data. So the county also issued late Friday, I believe, or Saturday, and then the city reshared the guidelines for Halloween. So if you have little ones, or if you just like the holiday and you like to hand out candy, it might be worth reviewing those new criteria as well. Up next, we have our partner with the City of San Luis Obispo, Molly Kano. Molly, are you on the line? Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, good morning, everyone. I am pleased to be here with you this morning and share with you guys some exciting programs that we have going on. So some of you may be familiar that, over the past number of years, the city has offered a grants and aid program, a cultural grants and aid program that helps support nonprofits within San Luis Obispo to provide community events and activities, things that bring our community together, that celebrate our culture, that celebrate recreational and social benefits in our community here in San Luis Obispo. Unfortunately, based on the restrictions that are in place and the guidelines that are in place, now is not the time for the community to be able to come together in those large group settings. However, the city, in order to help support these types of programs and the vital services that our nonprofits provide to our community, the City Council, through the work of the Promotional Coordinating Committee, has now rolled out a modified grants and aid, cultural grants and aid program to help support those events and activities put on by our local nonprofits. So the purpose of this modified program is to help our local nonprofit organizations that have been impacted by COVID, specifically through the events and the activities that they put on, oftentimes as fundraisers or ways to give back to the community. And so we now have an opportunity to roll out this new modified program. It's open and available on the city's website currently, so you can go to slocity.org/culturalGIA, and I think you guys just dropped that in the chat too, so thank you. The full digital application is available there, so you can find all the information. This is a rolling grant process, so unlike our traditional or our normal grants and aid program, where it opens and then has a strict deadline, this is a rolling grant process so that as nonprofit organizations in our community pivot, put together new ways of how they're doing their events and are looking for support, they'll be able to fund, or they'll be able to reach out to apply through the PCC for some funding. We'll be able to make available, the City Council has made available $100,000 through the Promotional Coordinating Committee's work efforts. And so we will be able to award 40 grants at the $2,500 level. So $2,500 for nonprofit organizations to help support their events in a passive or virtual standpoint in that type of way in our community. So there is going to be an info session tomorrow. This will be held in a webinar format, and registration is required. So it will be tomorrow, October 6th at 2 o'clock. For those of you who are interested but are not able to attend the webinar, of course, it will be recorded and made available for anybody to view after the fact as well. And all of that, of course, can be also found through the city's website at slocity.org/culturalGIA. So we're looking forward to this.
Thank you, Molly. It's so important that those organizations get the support that they need, especially because for downtown, you know, we have such a cultural life here, and it's not just the events that our organization puts on, concerts in the plaza, holiday events. It's the events at Slow Rep Theater. It's the things that happen at the Fremont, the museum, all of these wonderful institutions that we want to make sure can survive, so that they're here for us, ready once we get on the other side of all this. So good news on that. I know that Lee Johnson usually joins us from the city, and he's out today. Do you have any updates from the Department of Economic Development about what's going on the city side of things by any chance?
I can probably give you a couple of brief updates there. I know that Lee is working diligently on maintaining our communications and close coordination with our county to understand, of course, every Tuesday is when the adjustment or the consideration from the state office of public health to make any adjustments to what our tier levels look like. So I know that that's definitely a top priority, as well as continuing to support our businesses who have the parklets throughout downtown as those are continuing. I know that there's been some additional communication and work that has gone on as those parklets are starting to prepare for the colder season as we head towards winter, and putting together some opportunities in place for how to stay warm or stay dry during that transition into the colder weather as well. So I know some of those are some of the top items that have been continued to be worked on.
Great. And do you happen to know, and I'm putting you on the spot here, I know, do you happen to know anything about any parties or public safety issues that may have happened over the weekend? I know there was some concern about some of the late night activity happening.
Yeah, and I have not been briefed on any of that yet this morning, but should any additional information come up about any of that, I would say the best place is to continue to watch the city's social media channels. That is where you know, the most important and timely information is pushed out, as well as through the city's e-news items. So the news items that are pushed out to the public as well. So those would be the top places to watch for any announcements on that side.
Great, thank you, appreciate that. Okay, up next, we're gonna invite Courtney Kino from Cal Poly to give a little update. How are you today, Courtney?
I'm great, Courtney? Thanks. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
Enjoying some coffee from Linnea's, you know.
Oh, nice. They have the best vegan non-gluten muffins out there, just FYI.
I'm gonna eat one of those after we're done with this meeting. So
nice. Awesome. So good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to be here with you all, as always. We are starting our fourth, Cal Poly, I represent Cal Poly, is starting our fourth week of classes today. And that means that we have 6 weeks until November 20th, which is the day that we shift to hold all classes virtually, and have asked students that return home for Thanksgiving to not come back to campus because there will be no need to be here. In terms of numbers, we are just like the county, so we don't update over the weekend, but as of Friday, we have 130 students who have tested positive for COVID-19 through our on-campus testing sites. For context, last week I reported to you all that we were at 102. In addition, the county is reporting 27 positive cases of Cal Poly students who live on campus. 15 students are currently in isolation on campus, 15 are in quarantine, and 186 are in quarantine in place. As I also mentioned last week, we're committed to testing on-campus students and students taking in-person classes who may live off campus 5 times over the fall term. That free COVID-19 testing is meant to be a preventative measure to really quickly identify and isolate asymptomatic individuals symptomatic individuals are encouraged to immediately get tested and not wait for that routine ongoing testing. This initiative is one of several preventative measures that we're taking to mitigate the spread of coronavirus. We're also going to be offering testing to faculty teaching in-person classes and staff working in essential roles on campus. Unfortunately, I don't fit into either of those categories, which I'm kind of sad about. The ongoing testing has already begun over this past weekend. So Saturday and Sunday, we tested more than 2,000 students. We are getting those results today and tomorrow, so watching that very closely. On a different note, an event that I know normally impacts our downtown businesses significantly is Mustang Family Weekend, which was planned for October 23rd. Obviously, because of coronavirus, that will not be happening. Normally, there's about 60 events that take place over that weekend. Molly's probably well aware. Since we're strongly encouraging no non-essential travel, we're hosting a virtual parent and family week instead, and that's going to be October 19th through 24th. I thought it would be relevant to let you all know that we're doing a ton of flu clinics on campus as well. So that's for staff, faculty, and students. And then, as always, I'll point you to our webpage for the latest Cal Poly information, and that's coronavirus.calpoly.edu. Whoops, I muted myself, sorry. Finally, I wanted to, if we can, Rachel, I don't know if we can do this, but turn it over to Bob Lynchide really quick, because there's another exciting new announcement that he's, I don't know if you all know, but Bob is a former chairman of the board for the California State University Board of Trustees. And so a really big deal. We at Cal Poly feel enormously lucky that he's on our team. And so I thought it'd be appropriate for him to give an update if he can real quick.
Yeah, good morning. So many of you heard already in the media that Joe Castro, Fresno State president, was selected as the 8th chancellor of the CSU. And what's fascinating about Joe, and in fact, President Armstrong served on the advisory committee of the system to advise the trustees on candidates. President Armstrong was also on the advisory committee when Joe was selected president of Fresno State. They have a unique, wonderful relationship. We believe that Joe's knowledge of actually how to run a campus in the CSU will be a benefit. He's the first inside candidate in the system to be chosen as chancellor, first native Californian, first Mexican American. And so a lot of firsts with Joe's entry into the system, but we're exceedingly happy with that selection, and look at that as a positive for Cal Poly. As you know, Cal Poly is rather unique in the system. It's one of the few that draws their students from the entire state. So it's a state mandate rather than a regional mandate. And we're just excited about that decision, and look forward to working with the new chancellor-select when he takes over in January. That's all for me. Thanks.
Thanks, Bob. And with that, we can answer any questions.
Great. Thanks, Bob. Nice to hear from you. Nice to see your t-shirt too.
Yeah,
I have that shirt too. I bet a bunch of us on that call too. Courtney, I'm wondering, the 2,000 tests over the weekend is really a remarkable number, and we look forward to hearing the outcome from that. Can you talk a little bit about some of the efforts to quell unwanted gatherings and some of the issues that we've heard about? I know there was the infamous Pirates Cove video. Just a brief addressing of that would be really helpful.
Sure, yeah. So we had a pretty strong, messaging about students who specifically for the Pirates Cove gathering to come forward, and we had 61 students who came forward and I don't know if, I guess confessed is the right word, to being there, and they're now going through the appropriate accountability mechanisms on campus. We have done everything we can think of to message to students to not gather at all. Dr. Borenstein, the public health director for the county, has said on some of our forums and at our town hall that we know that, students, we have a social need. And so her advice was to try to stay within your unit if you live off campus, so with the people you live in the same house with, or 1 or 2 people that you commit to for a period of time to only see each other. So to try to keep groups really small. But in terms of the parties, we have email campaigns that we have a whole calendar of when they go out, social media, we have signage all over campus. We have a daily screener that students are taking. And one of the questions in there is if they've been at gatherings where they could have been exposed. And there's a whole triggering of what happens if they have. And so yeah, we're reaching out to others to help us with that messaging as well. And any of you at any point that you have mechanisms for doing that as well. But we are reaching out to them in every way that we can think of, and being really strong on the results of you violating this public health order of not gathering can be suspension or expulsion, and trying to be really clear that that's not a threat. That is the reality of the consequence of doing so. And we're also working really close with SLO PD to make sure that we're in lockstep when these things are happening, to be able to respond quickly and to the right people to hold them accountable.
Thank you. I know it's something that we're all concerned about, especially in the downtown. And we'll be bringing together our food, beverage, and services task force to get some of the bar owners, restaurant owners together to talk about what we can do to do a better job, and also to address the upcoming Halloween holiday, which is generally a pretty festive time for our community. And it's on a Saturday this year. So we do have some concerns about that going forward, but really appreciate your candid responses. And we know this is something that everyone's dealing with. Every campus in the world right now is challenged by these issues. So thanks, Courtney, for your very detailed, up-to-date report.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, up next, we're going to invite Jim D'Antona from the Chamber of Commerce. Hope you are doing well today, Jim.
Good to see you, Bettina. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. Thanks for having us today. Just a quick start out with, you want to make sure all of the members on the call today are aware that we have our election resources out, talking about which propositions, both statewide and the local measures that are out and where we are on it. We, for instance, Measure G, we know downtown SLO supported. But getting the yes on those, but also how should we be looking at it from a business perspective, these other propositions. So if you want to jump over there and get some heads up, there's 90,000 commercials telling you where they are, I'm sure, how to vote. But this is coming from our local board, and we ran it through our committees, had a really great discussion on some of these that may have not hit your radar or gotten one of the 90,000 commercials identifying it. Additionally, our next piece is we'll be running our Insight Studio program. We're coming with a part 1, part 2 series here of kind of internal and external threats. The first of the workshops is on this Wednesday, dealing with fraud. Especially right now, when both of these topics we felt were extremely important, as we're so head down focusing on doing the work, that sometimes we skip past some of these things which allow fraud to happen within our businesses, and miss the idea of the cyber attack. So the district attorney's office has actually will be joining us at both. Glenn Burdett will be working with us on the fraud series, and iTech will be working with us on the cyber attack. Again, ensuring that your business, again, when you're so busy trying to stay afloat and connected, that you aren't missing these key pieces, which could just be a dagger. So certainly feel free to click on that link, register for the part 1 and the part 2 this Wednesday and next Wednesday. They should be great, great seminars and workshops helping you kind of understand what things you should be doing to protect yourself. And then finally, on Friday, we had a great, last Friday's working lunch. If you haven't had a chance to see it, it was a great conversation with Scott Yu. And this Friday, we're having a great working lunch with Leanne Standish in her new role, obviously as Executive Director at the San Luis Obispo Museum of Art, all the while also supporting the FPAC. So should be another great conversation. We'll just tune into the SLO Chamber Facebook page at noon. And we have a half-hour conversation from 12 to 12:30 talking with Leanne and finding out what does she have prepped and what is she thinking and what's the kind of angle she's going to be taking now with the San Luis Obispo Museum of Art. So another great conversation, and kind of talking a little bit about, Bettina, what you said earlier, you know, our cultural piece. We definitely want to make sure that we are highlighting the great things that are happening here and that are going to continue to happen during this strange time, but hopefully come out of this even stronger to make that, to add one more piece from our wine, for all the tourism, adding that cultural tourism, because we have such great assets here in this community. It was one of the first things that brought me here. So thanks for having us in today, and I'm certainly available for any questions, or but appreciate the time that you always give us.
Thanks, Jim. Yeah, it is good news about Leanne Standish. She has accepted the executive director position at the Museum of Art, which is in the heart of our downtown. So looking forward to that connection. And I'm sure we'll see some great, bold new ideas that come out of that. Thanks also for your work on the election, Jim. The Chamber does such a great job of putting together the issues and the ideas, and your organization, like ours, doesn't endorse individual political candidates, but it is so helpful to understand the issues and the positions that your business may want to take with all of the resources that are out there. So thanks for hosting the candidate forums and also for that voter guide that you've put together. All right, up next, I'm going to invite our Downtown SLO team member, Whitney Cheney, to talk a little bit about something we've been working on behind the scenes. Whitney, welcome. What have you been working on?
So I have been, since obviously Farmers Market is not in operation right now, I have pivoted, our favorite word, to be our website tech behind the scenes person. So I have been busy revamping and building out our business directory to allow for us to transition into a brand new website that will be launching in late November. We've partnered with Geocentric. They are a company that works primarily with nonprofit organizations whose main goal is to promote business, neighborhoods, and quality of urban life. Some of their current clients include Downtown Boulder, Carlsbad, Downtown Boise, Downtown Fort Worth, and several other. They have around 40 to 50 different clients. Our new website is going to be mobile friendly. It will be fast. It will be ADA compatible, and it will enhance our SEO, which means search engine optimization, which in very basic terms means that people will have an easier time finding the information they need from us by going on Google or whatever their search engine platform may be. It'll also help people when they're Googling business directory searches. Our website will show up a lot higher. Next slide, please. The driving force behind why we were launching this new website is the core software that Geocentric has, which is called Citylight, which there's a whole page about this on the Geocentric website if you go to geocentric.com. I encourage you to go there. I encourage you to click through their different clients and kind of explore how their business directory will function. But Citylight is a web-based data management platform for geographic content, which is like directories and calendars. With Citylight in place, it will allow us to enhance our business directory, provide incentive to our visitors to explore and stick around a while in downtown SLO. It will also allow them to search by category, see nearby suggestions, use the built-in map, and discover new shops and restaurants. As you can see in this slide, it's an example of if someone was looking for the general store at Boulder, it would give some suggestions on nearby dining, nearby shopping, nearby parking, and they can also toggle through the map as they're on the ground to kind of explore their own downtown. Some other fun things, it's going to allow us to better communicate on the ground seasonal efforts. So we'll be able to add special categories like our holiday happenings. It'll enhance the social component, the individual directory, which you'll see if you go to a great example is the Boulder website, Downtown Boulder. I think it's boulderdowntown.com is their website. It's a beautiful layout, and that's essentially what our website will become. The individual listings will be gorgeous, and it's just going to give this whole new life to each individual business directory, and really kind of something that we've always been wanting, and we're really excited that this is happening. It will include a parking garage map. It will include links to the external websites for business directory. It'll include a lot more visual elements for the businesses. So when someone is Googling a business, they'll be able to better get a sense of what they have to offer and whatnot. So again, this will launch in late November, just in time for the holiday season, which we're very excited about. And if you have any questions on it, feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, I will be working on the back end, getting everything up and running for our businesses. And yeah, we're excited.
Awesome. Thank you, Whitney. Yeah, it's an exciting proposition. We're really looking forward to having a more visitor-friendly website and also to highlight all of your businesses. So we'll keep you posted on that one. And Whitney's going to put her head down and be looking at the computer screen for a while now. All right. We are continuing to promote, along with the City of SLO, the Open SLO program, the Downtown Dine Out, which is accessible 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. Very fun to go and have even just a coffee meeting downtown in Mission Plaza. Looking forward to that. And this Friday, or Saturday rather, we have a wonderful opportunity, and I'm going to invite our Downtown SLO AmeriCorps VIP Fellow, Cassidy, to talk a little bit about our volunteer cleanup day. Cassidy?
Awesome. Thank you, Bettina. Hello, everyone. Like she said, oh my gosh, apologies. I'm the AmeriCorps Fellow, and yeah, just really briefly, we have a downtown cleanup day happening this Saturday, 10/10/2020. And it's going to be a wonderful 3 hours. It's from 9 a.m. until noon. And we already have about 21 people signed up. Some of you on this call actually signed up. So thank you very much for willing to come help us. We will be doing items such as litter removal, cleaning park benches and trash cans and gum removal and all along the creek wall. So we're very excited. Our ambassadors every day are out there working so hard cleaning our downtown, and they get a lot done, and they're just 1 or 2 people. So we know with about 30 people, individuals, we're going to be able to clean up and really make our downtown sparkle. So we are closing our sign up soon because for safety reasons, we only want about 30 to 35 individuals. So if you would like, we will put the sign up in the chat, but we're very excited. We are taking all safety measures into consideration. So we really look forward to this Saturday. But yeah, so thank you again to everyone who's already signed up, that we are very, very excited to see how we'll make downtown sparkle this weekend.
Great, thanks Cassidy. And Cassidy just wrapped up her 3rd week with us through the AmeriCorps service program. So we're really happy to be participating in that and having access to her volunteer expertise, and she's already paying off. Great work with the raffle and with the downtown cleanup day. So we also have our partnership with SLO Veg CSA Program. You can order a box of pickup and pick it up here at Downtown SLO from 4 to 7 every Thursday afternoon, and I recommend doing that. The produce is delicious, and it's a super convenient way to get your fresh fruits and veggies and support local farmers, while also saying hello to your friends at Downtown SLO. This week, we continue to be partnering with the International Downtown Association, California Downtown Association, and the other organizations listed here. Tomorrow actually begins the annual International Downtown Association conference. And it was supposed to be in Tampa, Florida, but this year, of course, it is taking place virtually. So starting tomorrow, I will be attending virtual sessions with national leadership from all kinds of different downtowns, and also learning about some very fun things about like the prizes they give out. They give out a series of awards each year, and it's such a great way to get inspired by what other communities are doing. So I imagine next week I will have some learnings from that conference, but it'll be a fun way for me to tune in with all of my peeps. Even though we're not in Florida, we'll be in a Zoom room together. So with that, let's move into the polls. So each week we send out 2 very simple polls. Rachel, if you want to send those out. And the question is today, what is your level of confidence for your business, your sector, and for the economic well-being of downtown in general? And it varies from week to week. Your vote is totally confidential, so you can be completely honest. It may depend on how many cups of coffee you've had this morning, what kind of sleep you had last night. Or I know I'm feeling pretty optimistic right now because the sky was a little bit blue when I came in today, and it's nice to see the smoke from the fires clear. Looks like about half of you have voted. So if you have maybe tuned away or looking at your email, there is an open poll right now in the Zoom for Downtown SLO. And you all are feeling somewhat optimistic today. This is good. If you look at the criteria, I think we'll go ahead and end that poll now and share the results. You can see that I think by nature, we at Downtown SLO are not a very pessimistic bunch in general. So that's good. That's a good characteristic to have. I know I try to practice radical optimism, which has been a trying value to espouse over the last 6 months, but serves me well. So you can see it's kind of all over the map, but today most people are somewhat optimistic. All right, it's going to be a good week, everybody. Let's go to the next poll. And this poll asks, what is the biggest challenge facing your business today? So are you concerned about people becoming sick? Are you unsure about consumer confidence? Overarching, consumer confidence has been the thing that has worried us the most, or has been the biggest challenge. There has been some pretty decent relief through grants and loans and other federal programs that appears to have stalled at the federal level. So that might be maybe why the access to economic relief through grants and loans has gone down. Again, there is another poll open. We've got about half of you responding so far. We're doing everything we can to bring people downtown so that they can understand that it is safe to access our downtown. But there is still, maybe some lower foot traffic and fewer customers than there were before, which is understandable given the fact that we have a pandemic and there was terrible smoke and some high heat last week. We'll go ahead and end this poll now. And uncertain consumer confidence is again the clear winner. And we're doing everything we can to try to make people feel confident, or at least that they can enjoy our community safely. So with that, we're coming up. It's a little bit early today, but I think that we got through a lot of exciting content, and we'd be happy to open it up to questions if any of you have questions out there regarding anything downtown related. There's a great group of people around here on the line, creative, hardworking, optimistic, innovative people.
Bettina, I have a question.
Yes.
And this, I don't know if Whitney or you would want to answer, but for the businesses that, as we transition to the new website, are businesses going to need to do anything to highlight themselves or be on there, or will all of it just shift over? What does that look like functionally for businesses to be featured on there?
I could take that one. So in the previous website that we had developed, we tried an external business directory where the business themselves would input the information. And it was hit or miss on that. And I totally get that. I used to be a business owner downtown, and when it's outside of your day-to-day operations, sometimes that can go, it's just like all of us with our social media. cleanup and hygiene and all that kind of stuff, it's hard to maintain. So we've taken it all internal, and that is what I have been working on the last several weeks, is building out all of our business individual listings with the basic. I kind of have like a set standard of, you know, location, hour, social media handle, short bio. And so it's just kind of been a research project for me, where I'm going to business websites and kind of curating all that information. And then once it is ready to go publish, we'll probably figure out a certain way for the business to look at their listing and make sure that everything on there is accurate and what they want it to say. So right now there is nothing needed from the business, as long as they are in good standing with their business license within the BIA or a voluntary member. Then they'll be on our directory. The only ones that would not be on the directory are anyone outside of the BIA. So right now it is all internal, but of course, if we're needing extra photos, or if maybe we don't know of your website, you might hear from me. So.
Thanks, Whitney.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on the photo tip, if any of you have any fantastic photos of downtown that you want to share with us, particularly of people who are maybe wearing masks. We have a lot of photographic assets, but we don't necessarily have a lot from the past 6 months. So if you would feel comfortable sharing with us, we would really appreciate it. That would be great. Any other questions? Okay. Well, we are going to have our next meeting is actually not going to happen next week, because next week is Indigenous People Day, and our office will be closed for the holiday. So our next meeting is going to be, if you can believe it, October 19th. And we will look forward to sharing with you some updates on our holiday season. Also moving forward with some results from that downtown cleanup day, hopefully featuring some exciting before and after pictures so you can see all the work that you all have done. And this will also be the week after our next board meeting. So board members, remember 7:30 a.m. Tuesday. Everyone else, thank you so much for joining us here on this Monday morning. I hope that your somewhat optimistic view continues through the week. I also look forward to seeing you around downtown. If you see me wearing my masks, I will smile at you with my eyes. And please just be well. Reach out to us if you have any questions. Reach us at downtownslo.com, or you can find us. So thanks for being here, everybody, and we will see you on the 19th.